Hello, I am Jessica Swann, and I am the Program Manager for Teaching Communities at the Center for Education Through Exploration located at Arizona State University. I'm here with you today to talk a little bit about creating interactive planetary analogs, something that we're calling IPAs. Before we get into these IPAs, let me tell you just a little bit about Infiniscope. Infiniscope is a NASA-funded project, and what we do is create digital, immersive, and interactive learning experiences for all ages. We have what we call space explorations, and we have Earth explorations. Everything that we build is fully interactive and adaptive, meaning that we modify the experience based on what the user needs, such as misconceptions and providing them agency, making some choices as they go through that individual experience. Everything that we build is simulation based or a virtual field trip. And you'll see here we also have visualizations and we have contributed content. We also are a community of practice. And so this community practice is based upon, here at the Center for Education Through Exploration, also known as the ETX Center, we are what we call educational technologists. And here, as part of that community, what we do is we can connect with formal and informal educators and with subject matter experts and provide them the same digital tools and applications that we have available to create these digital learning experiences. So it gives you and these formal and informal educators the opportunity to create these fully immersive environments that can be used as a teaching and learning tool or as a way to share your science. So now you have a better understanding of what is Infiniscope and our community of practice. I want to spend a little bit more time talking about virtual field trips. So virtual field trips are what we base our interactive planetary analogs upon. And we've been building or creating virtual field trips for about the last decade. And a lot of what we do is very code-based and we build it all on ourselves. But what we do is we create these environments that are fully interactive and engaging for the user. So what you see here on the screen is a lesson that's called Red Rocks, or a learning experience that's called Red Rocks. And here we take our users onto the surface of Mars and they're exploring the different rocks that are there. And they're trying to get a sense of why Mars is red. And so they're making some comparisons between Mars and Earth. And prior to this segment, they've learned a lot about red rocks here that were formed here on Earth. But the point is that these are really interactive, but they're also incredibly complex to build. And what we want to do is to be able to democratize the building of these virtual field trips. We want to be able to take these kind of tools and put them in the hands of our community so that they can begin telling their stories. And in your case, you can begin telling your story about your research or the planetary analogs that you would like to be able to communicate to anyone that is interested in the science that you do. Maybe you're doing some outreach, and this would be an easy and simple way for you to be able to communicate what you have been working on. And so what we want to do is to make it not complicated. And in the process of making it not complicated, what we found is there's not a ton that is out there on the market that is available. So what we want to do is we're currently building what's called a VFT Tour Builder. And so this VFT Tour Builder is going to be the thing that is going to enable you to tell that story of your research and create these interactive planetary analogs. So what you see here is a screenshot from where we are currently with the build of this VFT Tour Builder. So this is something that you would have access to create your interactive planetary analog. So imagine, excuse me, imagine, if you will, that you need to share with an audience about how your particular research area connects with the Grand Canyon. And so what you can do is you could have a panoramic that's directly taken by your phone. You could use any phone to take a panoramic. You could pull that panoramic into this VFT Builder tool and it will automatically generate this 360-degree view of, in this case, the Grand Canyon. And then as part of your storytelling, you want to be able to highlight specific aspects. So, for example, maybe you want to point to a specific URL that is about your research, or a specific URL that is about images that were taken in this particular area, or maybe you want to show off an analog site right here. You can do that. You can also add in images. So if there's a specific photo that you want to show off from the Grand Canyon, you could plug those in here. You can add in PDFs. So this is a great place for you to be able to add in research papers or news articles if you're interested. You can even put in videos. So you can actually take your users on a tour and physically point out the aspects that are interesting to you in your research and what you want people to understand about what it is that you do. So for each one of these, what we call hotspots, so in this case, as I said, you can drop a URL, you can drop in an info bubble, you can put in a PDF, you can add an image, you can add a video. The other thing that you can add in is what we call a node. And so a node would actually take you to a location. So another location that is a 360-degree view. So you could have multiple 360-degree views that are built into your interactive planetary analog. So imagine how powerful that would be to have, here is the analog on Earth, and here is the panoramic that we've taken from Mars, for example. So with that general overview, let me give you a few examples to kind of fire up your imagination. So here we are in SFOF, and we're at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. And so we could tell a story here. Maybe we want to talk a little bit about perseverance. And so I have a couple of little URLs that or little interactive hotspots that I've added here into this particular room or this environment. So if I click over to the left, it takes me to the interactive that is built, the Deep Space Network Interactive. This Deep Space Network Interactive is created by NASA Eyes on the Solar System. It's simply just a URL, and I just pull it directly into this environment. In this case, it's already set up to look at Perseverance, but whatever mission you may want to look at for the Deep Space Network, you could pull that mission in specifically and pull it through this particular URL. Or maybe because you're at JPL, you want to talk a little bit about the Mars Yard. And so we could go out and we could, in this case, this is actually a 360-degree video, which is difficult for me to be able to demonstrate here because I don't actually have the VFT Builder tool to show it to you. But you can put 360-degree video into this VFT Builder tool. And so the user, when they click on the video, will actually be observing this video in 360-degree view, which is so incredibly powerful. Let's try another example. So sticking with the entire Mars theme, and I'm sorry if you're not a Martian, but I'm sticking with the theme. Maybe we want to go to Mars, and maybe we want to talk a little bit about the mission. And so you could, overlay a few of the missions here. So you see I have Curiosity, I have Perseverance, I have Opportunity. Maybe I want to go down to the ground and explore Curiosity a little bit more. And so when I get to the ground here, I see Curiosity with a panoramic. And maybe I want to tell a story about this particular area in Gale Crater. So maybe I want to drop in an image showing off some of these mudstones and these layers. Maybe I want to drop an image that is it's an artistic rendering of what we think this area looked like early on. Or maybe it's a drawing to kind of demonstrate how we think that this formed. So hopefully that kind of got your juices flowing. Let me give you a little idea here on timeline. So we will have this available for our internal uses for testing in December. We expect that we will be able to release this for beta testing in February, and then it will be able to fully release to the public in March. So what I recommend is that you register to become a member of the Infiniscope Teaching Network. When you register to become a member of the network, that actually gets you into our mailing list. And when you're a member of our mailing list, you receive all of the updates. So for example, when this VFT Builder tool becomes live, whether we release it for small beta testing or when we fully release it, you'll receive notification that it is ready for you to use. So to join the network, all you do is go to infiniscope.org and you complete a quick registration form. And finally, a huge kudos and thanks for joining us for this particular presentation about interactive planetary analogs.